A reading from the book of the prophet Joel, chapter 1. The word of the Lord that was addressed to Joel, son of Pethuel. The plague of locusts. Lamentation over the ruin of the land. Listen to this, you elders, inhabitants of the land, attend. Has anything like this ever happened in your day or in the days of your ancestors? Tell your children about it, and let your children tell their children, and their children tell the next generation. What the nibbler has left, the grown locust has eaten. What the grown locust has left, the hopper has eaten. And what the hopper has left, the shearer has eaten. Wake up, you drunkards, and weep. All you who drink wine, lament for the new wine. It has been snatched from your lips. For a nation has invaded my land, mighty and innumerable. Its teeth are a lion's teeth. It has the fangs of a lioness. It has laid waste my vines and splintered my fig trees, stripped off the bark and thrown it away, leaving their branches white. Mourn as a virgin bride in sackcloth for the bridegroom of her youth. Grain offering and libation are cut off from the Lord's temple. The priests, the ministers of the Lord, are in mourning. The fields are ruined. The land is in mourning, for the grain has been ruined. The new wine has failed. The fresh oil has dried up. Stand dismayed, you farmers. Wail, you vine dressers. For the wheat, for the barley, the harvest of the fields has been lost. The vine has withered, the fig tree wilts away. Pomegranate, palm tree, apple tree, every tree in the countryside is dry. And for the people, too, has joy run dry. A call to repentance and prayer. Priests, put on sackcloth and lament. You, ministers of the altar, wail. Come here. Lie in sackcloth all night long, you ministers of my God. For the temple of your God has been deprived of grain offering and libation. Order a fast. Proclaim a solemn assembly. Gather the elders. Summon everyone in the land to the temple of the Lord your God. Cry out to the Lord. Alas for the day of the Lord is near, coming as destruction from Shaddai. Has not the food disappeared before our eyes, and joy and gladness from the temple of our God? The seeds shrivel under their clods. The granaries are deserted. The barns are pulled down, for the grain has dried up. Loudly the cattle groan. The herds of cattle are bewildered for lack of pasture. The flocks of sheep are distressed. To you, O Lord, I cry. For fire has devoured the desert pastures. Flame has burnt up all the trees in the countryside. Even the wild animals cry out to you. For the streams have run dry, and fire has devoured the desert pastures. The word of the Lord. A reading from the book of the prophet Joel, chapter 2, the day of the Lord. the alarm. Blow the ram's horn in Zion. Sound the alarm on my holy mountain. Let the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord is coming. Yes, it is near. Day of darkness and gloom, day of cloud and blackness. Like the dawn across the mountains spreads a vast and mighty people, such as has never been before, such as will never be again, to the remotest ages. The invading army. Ahead of them a fire devours, behind them a flame consumes. The land is like a garden of Eden ahead of them, and a desert waste behind them. Nothing escapes them. They look like horses. Like chargers they gallop on, with a racket like that of chariots. They spring over the mountain tops with a crackling like a blazing fire, devouring the stubble. A mighty army in battle array. At the sight of them, people are appalled, and every face grows pale. Like fighting men they press forward, like warriors they scale the walls, each marching straight ahead, not turning from his path. They never jostle each other. Each marches straight ahead. Weapons fly. They still press forward, never breaking ranks. They hurl themselves at the city. They leap onto the walls, swarm up the houses, getting in through the windows like thieves. The day of the Lord. Before them the earth quakes, the skies tremble, sun and moon grow dark. The stars lose their brilliance. The voice of the Lord rings out at the head of his troops. For countless indeed is his army, strong to enforce his orders. For great is the day of the Lord, and very terrible. Who can endure it? A call to repentance. So now, declares the Lord, come back to me with all your heart. Fasting, weeping, mourning. Tear your hearts and not your clothes, and come back to the Lord your God. For he is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, rich in faithful love, and he relents from inflicting disaster. Who knows if he will not return, relent, and leave a blessing behind him? A grain offering and a libation for the Lord your God? Blow the ram's horn in Zion. Order a fast. Proclaim a solemn assembly. Call the people together. Summon the community. Assemble the elders. Gather the children, even infants at the breast. Call the bridegroom from his bedroom and the bride from her canopy. Between portico and altar, let the priests, the ministers of the Lord, weep, saying, spare your people, Lord. Do not expose your heritage to contempt, to the sarcasm of the nations. Why should it be said among the peoples, where is their God? The prayer answered. The plague ceases. Then, becoming jealous over his land, the Lord took pity on his people. In response to his people, the Lord said, see, I am sending you wheat wine and olive oil until you have enough. Never again will I expose you to contempt among the nations. I shall take the northerner far away from you and drive him into an arid, desolate land, his vanguard to the eastern sea, his rear guard to the western sea. Its stench, its foul smell will rise up, for the Lord has done a great deed. A vision of plenty. Land, do not be afraid. Be glad. Rejoice, for the Lord has done great deeds. Wild animals, do not be afraid. The desert pastures are green again. The trees bear fruit. Vine and fig tree yield their richness. Sons of Zion, be glad. Rejoice in the Lord your God, for he has given you an autumn rain of righteousness, and he will send the rains down for you, autumn and spring rain as of old. The threshing floors will be full of grain, the vats will overflow with wine and oil. I will repay you for the years devoured by grown locust and hopper, by shearer and young locust, my great army which I sent among you. You shall eat to your heart's content, and praise the name of the Lord your God, who has done wonders among you. My people will never again be humiliated, and you will know that I am in your midst, O Israel. I, the Lord your God, and no other. My people will never again be humiliated. The word of the Lord.